Welcome to Ninerology. I'm your host, Alan, and the 49ers have just kicked off OTAs, which is the organized team activities this week, which is the closest we're getting to football until training camp kicks off. And what's awesome about it is you've had some notable key contributors show up that don't typically show up, such as Nick Bosa was on hand. Typically, he trains in Florida with his brother. He's had some different issues, whether it was his rookie season, torn ACL, then there was the contract situation where he is now here and in person. In fact, you can listen to him now a bit on showing up to OTAs.
I think it's just good to get around the new guys. We have a lot of new faces this year, so just kind of helping the new guys out, and I don't think there's really been much of a normal off season for me in terms of just we had COVID, we had my injury, and the contract situation. So it's kind of a new year. I want to be around. It's good to be around. So.
Also, what a lovely little quote there about Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy basically being the same, and how he's going to be, even though he's a celebrity now, he's still going to be the same player even after he gets paid. But it's great that Brock Purdy gets the notoriety and respect from his teammates. But let's talk about who else was there. Deebo Samuel was there for OTAs in his new number 1 jersey, and we heard from Kyle Shanahan that he looked in shape. He looked great. My guess is Deebo Samuel knows that this is essentially a contract year for him. He did not get his contract basically restructured, which means they're either planning on trading him next offseason, or if he plays really well, maybe giving him an extension. Who knows? Then you had George Kittle on hand, kind of coaching the tight ends. But then you also had Talanoa Hufanga, who was recovering from a torn ACL, present during OTAs, which is great to see. Again, these are all not mandatory, all optional. But so you had players like Christian McCaffrey, who was not here. You had players like Juwan Jennings, who has yet to sign his tender. Brandon Ayuk, who's still in the middle of contract, negotiations. But it's still great to see those players on hand. I'm excited to have Deebo Samuel on hand, really working on his craft, working with Ricky Pearsall. Now, there are benefits to Brandon Ayuk and Pearsall not being present. Yes, you'd like Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings not being on hand, because that benefits Ricky Pearsall. It helps give him the reps and so on and so forth. Now, you really want everybody on hand, but there are some benefits, especially during these OTAs. There's a limited number of practices. You can't go full speed, but still, anytime you can get reps for rookies, that's always a plus. So, again, OTAs, it's great that they're back getting people. It's also great for Nick Sorensen as a rookie defensive coordinator, trying to get him used to the players, getting used to calling plays, those types of things, installing that defense with the newcomers. Again, you had Nick Bosa there working with Leonard Floyd. You had some of the other free agents on the defensive line that were not there yet. And so I assume that they'll be there probably in the next week or so. But, it's great to see. The 49ers football is back, baby. And hopefully they'll be able to take what happened last year, not sit in that misery, but be able to use that as motivation to catapult them this upcoming year. Nick Bosa looks like in great shape, like he always is, without an ounce of fat. But I'm just excited to see 49ers football is back, baby. Let's see what this happens. Hopefully the 49ers get Ayuk signed soon, get him into training camp and OTAs on time, but also get Juwan Jennings to sign that tender, and let's get back to pursue that 6th Lombardi trophy. And that's all we got. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Ninerology.